they'll ever, Garrison, you don't have to listen to this. This is between me and Phil and Michigan fans.
Right.
Do you think they'll ever understand the third day comments?
The third base.
Or
No,
what I say, third base.
third day.
Thank
Right.
you.
No.
Thank you. Day on
But
third
I
base.
like that. I might start calling him third day. Actually,
That's for you.
that's good. Thank you. But no, they'll never get it. Just like they don't get Will Johnson's comments.
Piss me off.
Will Johnson's comments and
Oh, ready. Welcome back to another episode, to the second week of the 10-week war. And we welcome on a super duper special guest, the man, the madman himself, the Maze madman himself, YouTube star.
I wouldn't say that.
I would say Phil Peters, man. Welcome on.
No, in the Michigan realm, I would say so.
I mean, I do okay. I do all right.
I'm looking at 5,000 subscribers.
Nearly. We're getting there.
I'll round up for you, Phil.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Bryce. I appreciate that.
Well, it's great to have you on, man. Great to have you part of the.
It's great to be here. It's nice in here, man. Smell the air is different. It's nice here.
Yeah, you like it?
Right.
I'm happy to have you on because last week we had Chris Drew, and two Buckeyes. It's too many.
I saw that.
Too many for me.
I thought Chris was a great guest.
He's a man.
Till the end. But
he's the man. Hey, anyone who puts Garrison in his place on Buckeye stuff.
Listen, there's a few things that we're just never going to agree on, and quarterback situation. It's been over a year now. Quarterback situation for me and him Chris and I are just never going to agree on Devin Brown, and it's okay. He's in love with a brittle quarterback, and it's okay.
Is he Devin Brown? Speaking of Devin Brown, I'm hearing the freshman is outplaying him over there. Is that
the word is that Julian Sane is the most accurate quarterback on that team?
Nah, you got Will Howard though.
He's not accurate. I never called him accurate. I want him to tush push all the way down the field.
That's fair.
No Diddy. Come on, bro.
Oh, there you go. Man, edit that out.
Right.
Flagged. Awesome. All right. Well, Phil, you know the premise of the show, and you've had us on your show, which has always been awesome, ton of fun. And so you know the premise of this show. Again, great to have a Michigan guy on like yourself.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Yeah, excited to really just dive in because I feel like this has been a theme for the past couple weeks. It's just this offseason hasn't really slowed down for either side of this rivalry.
Right.
So what's your I'm just gonna kind of keep it broad here. What's the pulse of we'll go with Michigan. Like what's the pulse for Michigan right now? Coaches, the changes on the defensive staff, talent coming in, talent leaving. What's the pulse?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's excitement is the word that I would use. There's going to be so much that we haven't seen, right? We haven't seen anybody not named Jim Harbaugh coach the Michigan football team since 2015, right? We haven't seen, we've seen it because last year they suspended him a couple times. But you know what I mean?
Still despicable.
Very, very. So we haven't seen that. We haven't seen, the entire defensive staff is new. Wink Martindale has been credited with being the architect of the defense that Michigan's ran the last 3 years, but he runs it differently according to everyone on the inside, including the players, right? Will Johnson just spoke about that. So it's a lot of new things that going on with Michigan, from recruiting down. I think the excitement about Tony Alford was palpable, right? You felt that, especially coming off the news that we were losing a Michigan legend like Mike Hart, and it could only be, that sort of hire is the only thing that could have, saved that situation. So excitement is the word.
Actually, hey, Phil, speaking of Wink and Mew, right. Page came out recently and said that you say he's the architect of the defense, but Page said, Makari Page, Michigan safety, said that the defense is completely different. What's your take on that?
So reading into what Makari Page said and what Will Johnson has said, It sounds like there's going to be a lot more aggression in the defense. And when I say that, I mean like blitz packages and things like that, a lot more one-on-one people on an island, which scares me a little bit, especially when dealing with the offenses that we will now have to face in the Big Ten or the Big, whatever you want to call it now, including your own. Because I remember it wasn't that long
Who's my
ago.
own? Who's my own? Who's my own?
The other state.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't that long ago that I can't even think of his name now because I burned it out of my memory. The defensive coordinator before McDonald was out there running man-to-man defense, and you guys were eating that alive with, just crossing routes and things like that. So that gives me some cause for pause. But I'm sure, he's, at least I would hope, he paid attention to that and also what we did last year. So I'm a little worried when you say like man-to-man, considering the other state, considering Oregon, even USC. I'm not really worried about USC right now, but eventually they will be a decent team again. At least that's the hope.
Oh, and I find that really interesting because Michigan hasn't had to blitz like that for the last 2 seasons now. We're talking about, or 3 seasons actually, 3 seasons. They haven't had to blitz. They know they've run a lot of zone. They run a lot of like man zone, but and especially I mean we can get into this a little bit, Bryce. But I mean, with the DB depth, you might not.
Yeah.
In terms of high end depth, you might blitzing probably isn't the best thing to be doing. And I don't think you need the blitz with Michigan. I think that you don't need to do that with the defense.
Yeah, I'll let Bryce hop in here, but really quick, I agree with that sentiment. Actually, I don't think that Michigan necessarily needs to blitz often, and I want to be clear. I mean, it wasn't like Michigan didn't play any man-to-man defense, over this 3-year stretch, because they did. I'm just saying, that being the heavy package is a little off-putting or worrying to me. But go ahead, Bryce.
Yeah, I think the recipe's out how to stop the Ryan Day offense. And I thought you saw that with Michigan the last 3 years.
Right.
The tricky thing will be now with the Chip Kelly offense. I mean, Ryan Day is scared to run the ball consistently. I don't know what his deal was. I don't know why he would do that.
2019,
he would pull away from running the ball. Well, that was Meyer's offense. So he'd pull away from that. But now I think Chip Kelly's more focused on the run. And so when it goes to the conversation of blitzing and schematics, it's going to be interesting to see how it changes, because I think Ohio State's offense is different. I think it's going to be different this year. It's not going to be what we saw the last 3 years. CJ Stroud isn't there. It sounds like Sayan's having a good freshman camp, still a freshman. It's not Stroud. So I think the depth conversation at DB is a great one, because we lost Keon Sabb.
Yeah.
Just lost Rod Moore.
He gone.
And maybe 6 months gets us to October. Maybe he comes back, but why risk a bad season, burning your red shirt, losing your draft stock? It's just like, it doesn't make a ton of sense.
I agree.
I love our depth though, Phil. I love our room. I love Brandon Hillman. I love Zeke Barry. Did you see Brandon Hillman's tweet?
Yeah, I did. I did see Brandon Hillman's tweet. The quote of, going into the portal, that one, or
what do you say?
Yeah. Going in the portal.
Yeah.
What was the give me the
it's basically just a quote of like the sentiment of Michigan needing to go into the portal for defensive backs. And he is kind of like laughing at that, basically, right? Or
I just said quote,
that as
Michigan needs to add an impact DB in the transfer portal.
Yeah. There it goes again. No,
I don't know what that means.
No, Bryce, the confetti. But
yeah.
We have technical issues.
Is that what you do this? And then
dude, no, it happens every 4 episodes, though, it seems like. I don't know. But
Peter.
All right. So coming from a player, he should be saying that.
Yeah.
The reality of the situation is, and Bryce, I understand you said you love the depth. But the reality of the situation is the high-end depth maybe isn't there. I saw a picture of Jair Hill today. And
why do you hate that kid? What did he?
I don't hate that. I don't hate. Why do I hate him? He's small.
Go ahead, finish your sentiment. Yeah, you're just constantly berating the dude.
I'm not. He's skinny. Am I wrong?
He's got to put a little bit of, you got to
Yeah,
eat a little
put
bit
a little
more,
beef on him.
more
So,
bacon, but
like every 180 isn't the same. But no look, talking about you lost Keon Sapp.
Mhm.
You now lost Rob Moore, who by all estimations for me is a top 3 safety in college football.
Yep.
So it would have been a first or second round pick this year easily. So I mean, Makari Page, I think he's okay. He's not better than Keon Sabb. I don't think anyone below them is better than Keon Sabb. And Phil Bryce knows this. I've been this way since game 2. I said Makari Page should not get Keon Sabb's spot when he comes back. But
I am a Makari Page fan, but I'm sorry, I'll let you continue.
No, please.
I think Makari Page is a bigger guy. Now I do think he can get sometimes wrong-footed, especially in coverage. But I do like his ability to come up and run stuff. I think he gets downhill really well. And he's made plays for Michigan too. I can't take that away. Now I agree though that as far as the talent, he's not Keon Sapp. In fact, as far as the talent, Rod Moore isn't Keon Sapp. Excuse me. And I say that, with all due respect to Rod Moore, because he has actualized his talent and gotten more out of it than Keon Sapp has to this point. But I'm just saying, his ceiling isn't Keon Sapp's ceiling. That said, I like Brandon Hillman. I think Brandon Hillman is the real deal. Like, and I know I'm just going off of, and I hate to do this, I'm going off of like the high school film, which isn't.
What year is he?
2023 came in. He's a sophomore. Yeah, he's a sophomore. So I like his film. I like Jair Hill last year in game. Like, he showed he can cover. Now he is small. He's a little light in the but
in the caboose.
Yeah, but he can get after it in terms of man-to-man coverage. But I agree. I am a little concerned about the DB depth, especially after losing Moore. I thought, man, I was hurt when we lost Keon Sabb because I was in that space before Keon Sabb left, talking heavy about Michigan and that secondary and why I thought that they were the best in the country when compared to Ohio State, who I think is also very good and may now be the best in the country, especially when we're talking about Michigan's depth now. And so I was talking a lot, and I was prepared to come in here. I tweeted this. I was prepared to come to this show talking heavy about Michigan secondary, even after losing Keon Sabb until Rod Moore got hurt. And now the situation is the situation.
College football has never been in this position that it's been in before, where the spring portal is going to open here in a couple of weeks. And I've said this before, it's the Wild West. And it's to another degree now with these rule changes and the ability to transfer as many times as you want. And it's just, I think Michigan will probably hit the portal for some safety depth. Yeah. You might lose people too, I suppose, as well. So yeah, when it comes to the depth conversation, the portal is going to be interesting, man. These next couple weeks are going to be wild because who did Michigan just lose to the portal?
Carmelo English.
Yeah, Carmelo English, wide receiver. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting.
That room is.
Trust, integrity, and personal service still matters to a lot of people. Those values are alive and well in Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Dylan Rich's, the Rich's Agency. Dylan offers service that's convenient to you, appointments that fit your schedule, and he'll get to know you face to face. Trust him with all your insurance needs. You need just one good insurance professional in your life. Let's make it Dylan. Call 616-600-0083 today with Farm Bureau Insurance, Michigan's insurance company. It's fired up to have Dylan on board and partnering with us for this show.
Our lives are a collection of experiences, moments of happiness or times of great loss. First homes, new babies, property loss, even heartache. Knowing that your insurance provider is always close by offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
The wide receiver.
Probably
wide
used
receiver.
Man, okay, so
What are your thoughts, Phil?
I think the wide receiver room is okay. I don't think it's great. I think we got a lot of the same guy over and over, right? It's like a copy paste of Samaj Morgan, really. That type of player, that size player. Even Morris isn't like the biggest guy, but I do like Tyler Morris. I do like Samaj Morgan. And I think that Samaj Morgan is more of a dog, but I think Morris is more of a technician. So I like those guys. It's going to be interesting to see. I will say that I was hoping that we got one of those receivers we were targeting in the transfer portal before the season, before spring
guy, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
We need a bigger guy that can really like stretch the field. And right now we don't have that.
I forgot Clemens left.
And that was the one I was most
that one
about.
Sucked, man. That one sucked. Along with Amorian, we can't forget Amorian Walker left. Now that one, he was kind of like in position purgatory, so I wasn't, that one didn't hurt as much as Clemens leaving. I thought that one really hurt.
Yeah. That feels like an eternity ago. Sheesh.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. But I think your guys' receivers, Bill, a lot of what you said, it's copy and paste. A lot of small guys. Tyler Morris he's fast.
Right.
Samaj, I don't think he's that fast, but he can probably run.
Quick, right?
Yeah, he's quick, runs routes very well. Big playability though. That's for sure. He's a great interview.
For sure.
I love him.
He's got to get his show. He's got to get like a podcast or something.
He needs one.
Someone should
He
sponsor.
needs one.
He should join the Maze Madman Weekly.
That's right.
No. If you did that, Phil, I'd watch faithfully at more than I already do.
Well, thanks for letting me know you don't watch.
Yeah,
I just said more than I already do.
No, it's cool.
Phil, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So let's go. We'll stand on like the Buckeye Wolverine back and forth here
on Twitter.
What?
You talk about the Twitter back and forth, or just
everything, just the two fan bases. Do you think they'll ever, Garrison? You don't have to listen to this. This is between me and Phil and Michigan fans.
Right.
Do you think they'll ever understand the third day comments?
The third base. No.
What did I say? Third base.
Third day. Right.
Thank you. Day on.
But I like that. I might start calling him third day. Actually,
that's for you.
That's good. Thank you. But no, they'll never get it. Just like they don't get Will Johnson's comments.
Piss me off.
Will Johnson's comments and Garrison was a part of this too about NIL being the reason Michigan kept its core.
Yeah, this too.
I didn't know. I did not say that.
Took
Please
and perverted that.
I am saying, all right, Phil. Here's the problem. See, now you've done it. Both of you have done it. Forget the Ryan Day thing. I don't have time. I don't have enough time for that.
Right.
All last year, you guys brought back your whole team. And when I say whole team, we know who we're talking about. And you brought in 9 transfers.
Yep.
Ohio State brings in 6 transfers, and a bunch of Michigan fans want to go on the uproar saying we pay them out the wazoo. Truth be told, we only paid them probably $6 million altogether. I saw one
million a transfer.
No, Bryce, because some get more. I think Caleb Downs got
But that's the average math. That's crazy.
No, but all right, but listen, more guys cost more than the other.
Mm-hmm.
The running back market for NIL market, Bryce, is only and Phil's only about 500 to 600K.
Really?
That there's not a huge market for running backs, the same like it is in the NFL. So this thought process that Ohio State just threw all this money at them and they came, and to act like you guys. Like all these 9 guys that transferred into Michigan last year, especially being offensive linemen, knowing that you're going to sit for 2 years or a year, you came there and they came there for free. You tell me their services are for free. And then Will Johnson comes out and says, these guys came back also because of NIL pay. The same as and Bryce has been on here saying good God knows what about Ohio State's players coming back and all came for the money. No, these guys came back, yes, because they're compensated, but because they also want to win a national championship. Did last year, did you guys not have a one more year fund? A simple yes or no will suffice.
We did.
Do you also believe those guys came back to win a championship?
Absolutely.
They did.
So that's why I'm so confused on why Michigan fans can't wrap it around their thick skulls that they're hypocrites.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So okay. Look, I'll take a crack at this.
You have a lot of nuance.
There's a lot of nuance. It's a lot of nuance. So I think what Michigan fans, right, take umbrage with is the idea, first of all, that Caleb, I don't even know if you guys are denying that Caleb Downs was tampered with.
We are Ohio State. We cheat. So
right.
what?
Okay. All right.
I own this.
Fair. And by the way, I was telling Michigan fans a year ago that we should own, the Stallions thing, right? Let's just take it. It's part of the narrative. We're still the champs. All right. That's that. All right, cool. But he was tampered with. Then you had your coach, I think a year or two ago, at an alumni dinner say we need 12 million to keep our team together. 13. There we go. 13 million, keep our team together. Which, okay. I think the numbers being thrown around this offseason were like 14 million, right? I read something, 14 million.
We have a lot of money.
No doubt about it. So I think that is where Michigan fans are coming from. Now, granted, the state of Michigan hasn't done the University of Michigan any favors on the NIL front. I think just recently maybe they started to get on board a little bit. While in Ohio State is Ohio. It's a little different, and they make the state go really. Obviously, Columbus is a huge city, and they got a lot of things going for it. But whatever. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here. I
like the way you speak about Columbus.
Whatever. It's a vile disgusting cesspool. All right. The thing though is that Will Johnson spoke. He was speaking specifically about that core players, Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant. We heard about the rumors. We know that people were contacting Michigan players to come join, and obviously there has to be some incentive for them to stay, other than because we just won the national championship. And I'm not saying that now makes it like we don't want to win it again, because I'm sure that we want to win it again. I know we do, right? It's just that's your opinion. It's just that, when people are waving big checks around as kids, and we don't know everyone's socioeconomic background, those things could be. Obviously Keon Sabb needed a Benz, and we saw
Bryce that heats Bryce up.
I am as heated, because if that's all it took, bro, give that man a fleet of Benzes. He should have a Benz for every day of the week.
Right down the street from the Motor City.
Crazy.
Well, that was the frustrating part, Phil, is that Michigan says they're not going to pay freshmen, and then whatever, you can have your opinion on that if you want, but they're going to pay players that are proven. Well, you know what? I feel like Keon Sabb's probably pretty proven, and if Quentin Johnson's getting a car dealership deal, and I know Sabb left for $2 million. Let's maybe throw Sabb $1 million and maybe 2 Mercs. Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry.
I agree. No, I agree. I mean, that's pretty much it. I understand, like, we're gonna find something to dislike about each other no matter what. It's just the nature of the rivalry, and it's the greatest rivalry probably in sports, period, but certainly
it is
in college football. So it is what it is.
Now, I will say this, speaking on that 14 million number real quick. When I say all these names, are you so surprised? Mind you, we paid $6 million for 6 players. Okay.
Right.
If I say Tyleik Williams, Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimoloau, the whole DB room, because the DB room has 3 guys that are going to go first, second, and maybe third round. Okay. Talking Caleb Downs, you're talking Lathan Ransom, you're talking Sonny Styles, you're talking 4 QBs or 5 QBs.
Big
that all have,
Benosin, who I think is very underrated.
yeah, I'm so happy he didn't go to you guys.
In fact, he made some plays last year that probably saved you guys in a couple situations. But go ahead.
Oh no, you are completely right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all 5 quarterbacks in that QB room are getting paid.
Yep.
I mean, you're talking the running backs, the wide receivers, man. Is 14 million that crazy of a number?
So 14 million is a lot of money. I don't want to
all those names I give
but
you.
I get it. Now, I do have a question. Why are you playing Jack Sawyer?
Why?
I mean, I hate to just single out one guy because I was gonna go some more, but Jack Sawyer for what? What are we paying you for?
Because last year on PFF he had one of the highest rushing grades and run stopping grades.
Okay.
Now
he has PFF.
I don't, but when I have to use it, I will.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. With a grain of salt.
Right.
Yeah, but
5-star, right? He was the 5-star.
He was a 5-star, top 5 guy in the nation.
Yep.
I think he was number 4. JT was 2 or 3.
Another guy that I'm trying to figure out why you're paying.
I mean, they need to be more consistent, but I mean, but they had these flashes of games, and I don't expect them to have games like this all the time. But you take that Missouri game, Jack Sawyer was the best player on the field for both teams.
He was
easily. So I mean,
JT.
I mean, bro, they're good. But
college career, right, has really been that Penn State game.
That's it.
I'm not gonna deny it was probably the most dominant defensive performance we'd seen in the last 10 years, at least.
Since Ndamukong Suh in Texas.
Right. A single player, right? He really dominated that game, but he's lived off of that game now for the entirety of his college career because it hasn't come to fruition outside of that game, really. I'm not saying he's trash. He's not a trash can. But
yeah. I mean,
why are you paying him?
Yeah.
Bryce. You're paying him.
So
you're paying him because he is an elite athlete.
Okay.
Now him too. I mean, Sonny's all right. Well, listen, Sonny Styles. A lot of people need to remember this. When you talk about Sonny Styles, he was supposed to be a senior in high school last year.
Okay.
So, or no, he's supposed to be a freshman the year before his freshman year. He's supposed to be he came in early. So I mean that he's a year ahead of schedule. But JT and Jack need to this is the final year, of course. Not technically, but this is their final year to make something happen.
Right.
And even so, they still had second round to first round draft grades on them, even despite everything you said is true.
Right.
So you know what they remind me of, man? This is gonna be really funny for you guys. I would liken them in the same situation to how I feel about JJ McCarthy. Where check this out. There have been flashes where I've seen you have really good games, but you are not consistently doing that. And a lot of people like you, not because of the things you have done, even though there are good things you've done. It's not because of the things you have done. It's because of the projection of something that no one has seen you do consistently.
Okay.
That's what they are to me right now.
Bryce, can I go?
Please.
All right. JJ McCarthy.
Oh God.
If we're talking facts here, JJ McCarthy had he was top 5, I think maybe top 3, maybe only behind Bo Nix in completion percentage last year. I think that screams consistency.
No,
I digress. It could because are you saying he was so good in one game that it
I heard a scout say this. I forgot who it was. I wish I could repeat his name, but he said completion percentage isn't an overall say so to accuracy.
Okay.
And so yes, he has a high completion rate. I'm not going to take that away from him.
Right.
But a lot of people forget. It's almost like I bring up his last year, his sophomore year.
Okay.
And I told people, you do understand the last half of the season, JJ McCarthy has not thrown over 51%. And even this year, as the season wanes, his completion percentage drops. because a lot of it is getting boosted in those first few games. I think he was throwing 80 to 90%. So, and I'm not going to call him a trash bag. He's not a bad ball player. I'm just saying, I think. You guys love him because he's your national championship quarterback, man. It is what it is.
Yes, he is.
It is what it is.
The greatest Michigan quarterback ever
he's
played.
the greatest Michigan. Yeah, thank you.
But he gets bloviated.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
But his skill set gets bloviated based off the team success, and that's my problem with those.
Here's what I think: a lot of people outside of the Michigan fan base don't give JJ McCarthy enough credit for. That is, he put the team on his back in several occasions. Let me explain. That third down completion percentage is wild.
Because he's on 3rd and 3, Phil.
No,
he's not. Oh my goodness.
No, it's not, man. By the way, even if he was on 3rd and 3, his and I'm glad you brought this up because specifically on 3rd and longer than 10,
I know
he's the best. Okay. All right.
Take the cheese again.
It's crazy. You just reel them right in. That to interception ratio, it's wild. It's almost double digit.
Okay, all right. Wait. You do understand he throws more passes. I mean, he's throwing way less passes than say a CJ Stroud, right? I
agree.
You do understand that he has more interceptions in his career than CJ.
That's fine.
And that's why I'm saying this is what I told said to Bryce the other day, I believe.
So the percentage of his passes that end up being interceptions are going to be higher than a person like CJ. For sure.
When you go to the NFL, you don't have a running game all the time. You're not going to have the team he's going to is not going to have the best running game in football. It's not going to have the best defense in football. It's not going to have any of that.
Right.
You are going to, in the NFL, in the National Football League, this is not college. You are asked to throw that ball downfield. You push the ball downfield. Even for the 49ers, you push the ball downfield. So I don't think he's that guy. He's not that good at leveling downfield throws. He's not that good at processing. It's a lot of things that he does, and he rolls out a lot. And I mean a lot.
He does.
So like he can't just sit in the pocket and let that thing go. Now, maybe a lot of that has to do with the offense and the route concept, the route running. The receivers. I'm not going to take that away from him.
And I'm not, trying to poo-poo on any of the receivers Michigan is at. By the way, and this is a squirrel moment. Ron Bellamy needs to prove something. But okay, back to
good take.
Back to here.
Good take, Phil.
I like that.
Yeah. Back to JJ here for a second, just for a quick second. I'm not gonna go long here. JJ is a proven leader. He is huge. He's one of the most clutch. He's super clutch.
Oh, he was so clutch against TCU. Yeah.
What about Ohio State and Columbus?
Oh man, this is
pretty
good.
clutch then.
This is good, right? Very clutch against Ohio State, by the way.
50% passing. Okay.
That's good stuff. But yeah, I think he's clutch. He's a proven leader. And he wins football games. In fact, he's the winningest outside of some guy who played in Toledo or something.
Wins are not a QB stat.
Phil, all right, you deal with a lot of Ohio State fans,
right?
In your world.
Yeah.
As we wrap up here, we got a couple minutes left here.
Yeah.
My sense of your time here. What's your message to the Bucks? What's your message to all the Buckeye fans?
Man, I've been waiting for this moment.
Oh God.
The floor's yours.
So
I'll mute myself.
So I want Buckeye Nation out there, listen and listen good. All right. There are high school seniors, right, who in their scholastic career, let me not say they're scholastic, in their high school careers, have never seen Ohio State do anything of importance. Anything. They haven't won a Big Ten championship. They haven't beaten Michigan. They haven't won a playoff game. Nothing of importance. All right. But somehow they are of the belief that they are the cream of the crop in the Big Ten. Forget college football because they could get laughed out of the building there. But in the Big Ten, they think that the sun rises and sets on Ohio State. You're wrong. There's a new sheriff in town. I don't need to tell you who it is. It's pretty obvious. Back to back to back. 3 straight wins over your team. Not necessarily close. Now, granted, the last game, 6 points, whatever. But Michigan is the Big Ten. The Big Ten needs Michigan. Last 3 or the top 3 most viewed games of the season ago, all Michigan. It's go blue or go home. Now, and last point.
I'm sweating from anger right now.
I understand.
There's some respect our guests, please.
Thank you. You guys went and got in the transfer portal a quarterback who you thought, I'm sure, was going to help you get over your problem with Michigan. That guy was replaced by a freshman. All right, at where he came from. The coach told him it's either you stay here, be this guy's backup, or you can go to Ohio State. I'm sure that was how the conversation went, actually. It wasn't even somewhere else. He said you can be this guy's backup or go to Ohio State. He chose to go to Ohio State. You have gotten incrementally better on defense. Incrementally. You have not you. I can't say you're better on offense. Your best player is going to be drafted somewhere in the first round, and he was your offense a year ago. I can't wait until you lose these 2 to 3 games this season because I'm going to be unbearable. If you follow me already, you probably won't after this. And especially
you should.
Come late, you should. You absolutely should. Come late November, I'm going to be the most unbearable person on the internet. There you go.
I love it. Round of applause here.
And I will let you know this right now. On the last week of November, when I'm still eating turkey legs, I promise you, I will be unbearable. I am going to raise hell on this show.
Right.
Phil, we got to run here, but you are the absolute
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Dude.
If you don't follow Phil, Maze Madman, YouTube,
everywhere.
Twitter, go follow everywhere. He's man. We'll have you back on. This was awesome.
Appreciate you, man. See you soon.
All
Thanks,
right.
Phil.